Hello Bakugan Brawlers and welcome to another Bakugan video. Today I'm going to be listing the top 10 most challenging Bakugan to close. This list will be my own personal opinion and also the opinion of other Bakugan Brawlers that I play with. And as you guys may find these Bakugan quite easy to close or difficult, it's all based on your own personal experiences. If you guys have your own Bakugan that is not listed in this video that you find difficult or challenging to fold up, be sure to leave it down in the comments below, as it would be nice to know. Also, this video only includes Generation 1 Bakugan, and I also will include support pieces. And the manual pieces of Bakugan does come into part on how difficult it is to fold these Bakugan. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. First up, we have Longfly. As you guys know, Longfly is my favorite Bakugan. To be more specific, this Pyre's Longfly is my favorite Bakugan and is my Bakugan partner. This Bakugan is quite difficult to fold for ones who never had Longfly or is the first time closing Longfly, as it does look pretty confusing. But for my own personal opinion, it is really simple, as obviously it is my favorite Bakugan and I've been folding it and been using it for over 15 years. But for the ones who is just starting to play Bakugan or their first time getting Longfly, it is pretty challenging to fold up, especially the ones that I play Bakugan with and they've never owned a Longfly. So how would I fold a Longfly Bakugan? First, I would fold obviously the manual parts, being the two back plates over here. I'd fold this side and that side. Then I would fold the mini wings on his back wings, one on the right and one on the left. And then I would fold in his needle on the back of his tail. And this is Longfly in his fully automatic form. His manual parts are already folded up. Then I would fold his head, tuck it underneath, where is his chest, you could say, or his longer part of his neck. Then I would collapse his body and use my index and my thumb to fold it more in. Put his neck in, fold in his big large wings, his back wings and his tail, and there you guys have it. This is Pyre's Longfly in his ball form. Next up, we have a Mechtagon, which is quite interesting, and that is Zenthon. Zenthon is pretty simple for most people, but I find him quite annoying to fold up, especially when trying to collapse his shoulder, as sometimes if you would close one part of his shoulder, his other part would open, and you would need to fold these small parts in order to put his shoulder right inside, as you guys will see right now when I demonstrate it. So first I would fold in his wings, you could say, down. Then I would put in his head, and at the same time I would need to fold these two small parts over here and collapse his shoulder, making sure to hold it in place, otherwise it would open. Then I would do the same thing on the other side and just give it a squeeze and make sure he doesn't pop out. And there you guys have it. This is Zenthon in his closed form. On the 8th place, we have Orbeum. Orbeum, when he just opens on his normal form, is very simple to fold. However, when you open all of his manual parts, it does become quite confusing and tricky. As you guys can see, he has a lot of manual parts. So the first thing, I would need to fold all of his manual parts by starting with his ears, his tail extension, these two parts on the front of his legs, I would say. Then I would fold his back feet on both sides. And after that, I would collapse his feet into thighs, you could say, by aligning it just like that. Same goes with the other side over here. And then the last thing, I would just pop his thighs or his wider part of his legs back out, and this is how Orbeum would look like in his normal open mode. Then it's very simple. You would want to close his heads, his legs, his back legs, you could say, and his front legs like this. Mine opens sometimes, so I need to give it a bit of a squeeze, and there you guys have it. This is Orbeum in his closed form. Next up we have Knight Percival. Knight Percival can be also tricky sometimes, and I did find it quite tricky the first time I got him. So I would first start with his manual parts, being his tail, his feet, and the two arms that pop out in the middle part of his body, making sure to give it a good squeeze to keep it closed. Then you would want to align Percival in the middle, just like that. You'd want to fold these two back plates, his arms and his head in together. Then you would want to keep your hands on it so it doesn't pop back out, and fold his two back wings, you could say, and making sure he does not pop out like this, just like what happened over here with me. Just keeping him all closed and folded up. And there you guys have it. This is Knight Percival in his closed form. On the 6th place we have Gift Jinryu. This is the first Bakutech Bakugan in this list. Gift Jinryu is quite confusing, especially when it comes to his front arms over here, as you guys will see very shortly. You would first want to fold in his two pincers, you could say, or this kind of design on his back of his body. It is really tricky to get out, especially if you have fat fingers. It's really hard to get it out, and I guess it is also quite difficult to fold it back in. You would really need to stick your finger just in there in order to get it in, and it does take time, but obviously it's best to take your time to close these Bakugan because it's quite delicate, and you would not want to damage it. So after folding these parts in, you would want to fold his back feet, which is very simple. Then you would want to close his back part of his body first, and these two parts over here. Fold in his arms. As you guys can see, you would want to fold his hands just in like this, so as the other side. This is quite delicate. Okay, and then you would want to fold in his head and his neck just right to get it inside, otherwise it would not pop in. After doing so, you have Gift Jinryu in his ball form. In the 5th place we have Flame Eagle, or Flame Eagle you would like to call it. This I personally find quite tricky to fold because it looks really confusing in the start to fold it, especially he has a lot of flaps on his back part of his body, and it does look quite tricky. So first I would want to fold in his manual parts, being the wing extension and his horn, you could say, or the feather on his forehead. Then here I would want to fold in his main wings first, just like that. His head, which just collapse in like this. And then you would want to fold in his back tail, his wings, and the back parts of his wings together. And there you guys have it. This is Flame Eagle, or Flame Eagle in his ball form. In the 4th place we have Dio Sivak. Dio Sivak is very simple to fold, but the only part which is quite tricky is putting the Savak, or this head part, in the middle. As you guys, if you have fat fingers, it is really tricky to get it just right in there. So first you would want to fold in his manual parts, being like his wing extensions on the front. Then you would want to take the Savak and place it right just like this, his face facing the forward position. Put it on the top part over here and just close it just right. Get your fingers just in there, making sure, as you guys can barely see, his face is facing the front direction. Then it's quite simple. After you get that done, you fold in his top wings, his legs, you could say, and his tail. There you guys have it, Dio Sivak in his ball form. In the third place, we have Impalaton, a mobile assault Bakugan. This I find quite easy to fold, but the people who I play Bakugan with, they always tell me they have a hard time to close Impalaton, especially with the part over here where you would need to fold in the last. So first you would want to fold in his middle legs, and then you would want to fold in his front legs with his pincers together, just enough to make sure it holds it in place. And of course you would want to keep your fingers holding the middle part just so it doesn't pop out. Do the same with the back by folding the tail first and his back legs, as it is quite tricky. After doing that, keep all your fingers holding his legs and his tails. Then in the bottom part, he has a plate, you could say, over here. You would want to give that a push, and after getting that pushed back in, you have Impalaton in his closed form. In the second place, we have Drathron. Drathron is the biggest Bakugan ever sold in stores, and personally I do find it quite challenging and time consuming to fold Drathron, and for people who've never owned a Drathron before, it looks really intimidating to fold. But I'm going to be showing you how to fold it in my own way. I would fold first his manual parts, being his horns, his fist or his claws, you can say, on both sides of his wings. Then you would want to collapse his feet, just like that. And then I would start with his wings by twisting this back, making sure this fan or this flaps align just like this, so it is easy to fold it back on his wings. Same with the other side. If it does go a bit front, you would want to give it a few clicks. Do the same with the other side. Then use your pinky to fold in his feet and collapse his wings. Just make sure that his wings and his feet align perfectly, otherwise it would not fold just like that. So you would want to make sure his feet just aligns well. Then I would fold in his head, keeping it closed like this, and the front flap. Fold in the back part and the flap or his tail just like that, and you have Drathron in the ball form. And lastly, the most difficult Bakugan that I personally face to fold is Dagger Audace. A lot of you guys might say this is quite simple to fold, but I personally struggle folding him. Especially I keep on forgetting the right way to fold him. So I might make some few mistakes, but let's see how we go over here. So first you would want to fold in his manual parts, being his horn and his wing flaps. Mine, unfortunately, this part does not get out, but it's just a manual part. So this is Dagger Audace just in his normal open form. So how I would fold Dagger Audace, as I did practice before recording this video, because I actually did forget again how to fold this guy up. So first I would want to fold his wings, just like that, pretty simple. Then you would want to fold in his head and his tail together, making sure they just collapse like that. Fold in his top part of his wings, and then lastly fold in his feet, his front and back feet, just like that. And there you guys have it. This is Dagger Audace in his ball form. Alright guys, we've come to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share for more awesome Bakugan content. See you in the next Bakugan video.